Very long ago, the earth was full of green, yellow, purple, blue, orange, and brown land. The earth was filled with all the animals, and the air was filled with birds of all the species. While the earth was full of silence and tranquility, the animals were either sleeping in their calm shelters or they were patiently hunting for their prey. However, this was all interrupted when suddenly the sky turned gray and the clouds appeared black in a way as if they had eaten the sun. Then the lightning started going off everywhere, without a single drop of rain, as if the skies were purposely trying to heat the earth with all their might. By now, the soil was muddy because of the water, and letting smoke go out because of the lightning. The lands filled with flowers were not an exception. One might even say it was even worse for them. Then, after a while, everything stopped. Subsequently, unknown forms were starting to ascend from all over the ground. These unknown figures started to change their shape and form, even their skin, with the almost dead flowers on top of them, as well as the watered, burnt soil. It made all the animals watch such magnificent scene. These creatures started to form limbs, each having certain parts in their bodies that would differentiate them. The animals were shocked to see such beautiful creatures for the first time. And not a minute had passed yet when these creatures suddenly started walking towards the nearest sea or lake, and immediately began to take off the mud and flowers from their bodies. Later, they went towards the trees or entire forest, looking as if they were desperately looking for something. As soon as one of them spotted a fruit hanging from a tree, others did the same, and so they began to eat. Fast forward in times, these creatures that call themselves as humans were already dispersing and settling in other parts of the world. However, they had one thing in common. Although they were all forming groups and separated themselves, they still went to other places in the world that would be near the water. When there, they would hunt for all sorts of big animals, just so then they would eat their flesh. At the same time, those who were in hunting started to create their own fruits from their own land. Some of these fruits were the same as those that you could find in the trees, but others were never made before, or they were not the ones you would find in the trees only. Gradually, such a long time had passed until humans began to change the earth. From their hands, they started creating places while they were not hunting or creating/planting food. From the trees they took down to even the rocks, such big places began to emerge. In the meanwhile, the bigger these places were built, the farther the humans would separate from each other and would expand to places farther from the direct contact of the lakes and the seas. At the same time, the fruits they created from the soil were mixes of fruits and other things that were never seen before on Earth. And so, the humans long after continued evolutioning, for who knows until when.
At this point, agriculture began to spread with no clear intervention of human population. Little dots can be seen, but while grains were not completely used, at least 20,000 BC, the rice began to spread from cultivation in 5,200 BC. And in 6,200 BC, those little dots are the expansion of the rice production. Agriculture had a big expansion from the cotton being produced to the Bronze Age, in which it was intensified in many civilizations. Those civilizations improved their agriculture to a technological one, sugar and fruits. Exchange brought new adaptations as maize, different kinds of potatoes and manioc. Livestock all made agriculture grow in a significant way by the cattle, horses, and sheep. At this point, agriculture was completely introduced to humans. Began the use of mechanization, pesticides, fertilizers, and selective breeding. The excessive hunting began in animals as cheetah, black buck, wild sheep, and goat. Civilizations made the use of canals and excessive field systems. Humans began to find sophisticated ways to do farming and fishing trapping systems. Began the use of water mills, but the weather began to change.